Boss. There you go.
Us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to season 2 of Yeah Good Chat. Today I am sitting in our new and improved studio at Dolby. Please do not come and rob us. We cannot afford anything you have to take. So today we are in the studio with Hugh Clark. Clarky, how you going?
Yeah, good.
We'll introduce you throughout the episode.
You just called yourself out, bruh. They're gonna come in.
100%. Everyone knows where we are now, the party house. They fucking hear us from fucking Edward Street anyway.
I might have to bleep it out.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, probably should.
Samuel Gillespie, how is uni going? What's crack-a-lackin'?
Oh, mate, it's going alright. It'll be better once I've finished this first year.
Yep.
Get through and get into the course I sort of want to get into, and then, yeah, I'll be sweet this year. But, yeah, just been knuckling down this year. So.
Sam, the educational. Josh has actually done what the best bloke in the group usually does and has ran to go get us another six-pack to continue on. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Connor Brady. I am still here, still kicking, better than ever, more improved. We've got better equipment, better facilities, and better staff. Like I said before, we were going to... Oh, Josh, how are you?
Good. Thanks for kicking that off without me.
I did actually say that you're getting another six-pack, so we're sweet.
That's all right. Okay.
We have got Hugh Clark here with us. For those wondering, Hugh Clark has now become the Chief of Audio and Visual of the Pubcats.
Visual effects, bro.
Visual Effects Chief Executive Editor person.
Mr. Quinton Clark.
Quinton. We've nicknamed him that after Mr. Tarantino himself. Clark, you'll be looking after... Clarky's going to start looking after all the audio and visual effects and helping us out along the way the best he can.
Since you were struggling.
Since we have fucking struggled that first season through. We are sorry we haven't released an episode since that first season. Clarky, why don't I let you take over for a bit? You can tell us what your role's going to be and how you're going to help us.
Just keep it consistent, eh? It was pretty hit or miss the first season.
Yep.
And just get the ball rolling, eh?
So like we had a chat, me and Clarky, we've had a couple of little meetings and we've talked about what we can improve and what we can work on. And obviously the audio was a big problem the first season and we had no visual and we've always wanted visual. So now this season we can work on fixing that problem. So Clarky, what do you do for a living? Tell these people.
I'm just a trainee videographer at the moment, but like it's just there's no course for it. I'm just freaking working there.
In Toowoomba?
In Toowoomba, yeah.
Yep.
And it's pretty good. Don't really want to shout out the business.
No. But so you're Clarky looking at making that move next year.
Yeah.
So you're in grade 12 still?
Yeah.
And you are 18.
Yeah.
Yes, fuck yeah, of course you are. Of
Good
course,
man.
everyone we
man.
associate with is 18 years old. So your ideas you brought to the table are astounding.
It's just all what I do at work. Like
ultimately, it's simple, but it's the simple shit that works.
My job is legit advertising, small business, social media, and I'm treating this as a small business.
Yep. Nah, fuck yeah. So like this is essentially like when we started the podcast the first season, this is exactly the route we wanted to take. With the video, the audio, the visual, and the setup even. So like we're very free going. Like we like to sing piss before and during the podcast. So, like this is us in final form. Oh, not final form. This is us in mid form. But we're, it loosens everybody up so we can all talk about what we want to talk about without stepping on each other's toes.
You just focus on the content and I'll just make it work.
Yep. So Clarky will be hanging around a lot more. He'll feature in a lot more on the Instagram and help us out through the YouTube and the Spotify side of it with podcasting and also the filming. So we do the events, we do the parties, we do the golf days, we do the race days, and you're going to come on board with us with that. Is that okay with you? You're cool with that?
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's the first time I've ever asked him was on this podcast, so we got that clarification. Would have been real awkward if he had said
Nah.
No. Out of here, gone.
He's like,
It's-
nah,
Takes my
bro.
equipment.
It's
Yeah.
also good to have one of
That's the
Thanks,
equipment.
guys. See you.
Snatches the camera, walks
it's
out.
also good to have one of the rugby league boys, on board with the podcast with the video side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clarkie just won a grand final the other week. Congratulations. Obviously, you've done more than me and Josh have done with our lives.
50% of this podcast is done anyway.
But
Oh,
nah, fuck yeah. So
come
like,
on.
That's
Free
enough.
Video footy, eh?
yeah, bruh, fucking. So like, you think you'll play footy next year?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends if I'm at Brisbane or not. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be the same as Sam probably.
The
Freaking
Hounds
too much-
will always have a spot for you, Clarky. Don't worry.
Oh
about
yeah.
that.
too
The
much
Hounds
of it.
will always have a spot.
Too much of an effort to come back to Dolby, but like, yeah, I do want to play for the Diehards again.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's a good
I
club.
think at
Bring
this
back
stage I'm
one
looking at
cup.
co-signing. So obviously, Dolby Diehards, you've always got to love it. And when you play for somewhere else, you don't have
I
the
got
same
my-
hatreds for other teams. Like, has anyone else
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
that?
Exactly. You don't walk out and get ready for kickoff and you're just like, fuck, I hate everyone wearing
Yeah.
an orange
Yeah,
You never,
jersey.
you never really understand. the-
There's
all
no
the hate.
passion.
You
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
there against South Toowoomba and you're just
Okie.
like, fuck,
Fucking-
I hate South. I just want to, like, some of these blokes I
South
might
in
be
your
mates with, but fuck, I want to just belt them
Oh.
tonight because they're wearing an orange jersey.
Who gives a fuck? Like, you could be
Yeah.
best mates with everyone in a South jersey. Like, the Pubcats could be in a South jersey, and I'd be like, yo, bro, fuck the Pubcats.
No, fuck this.
Fuck that.
Fuck Souths.
Yeah.
Like, I hate
But,
whoever is in a
Is that,
jersey.
is that next Pubcats merch?
No, fuck no.
We don't want to give
Pubcats
them the light of
Tigers,
day.
baby.
Don't give them the light of day. Fuck that.
But like when I played Tweed Coast Raiders, it was the exact same. Like I played footy and it's just like, oh, like it's good to be back on the field, but there's no passion. Like when you're in Dolby and this is your hometown, it's where you grew up playing footy. You verse teams like Valleys and like
Oh.
like you didn't hate Valleys, but you just knew like you had to beat Valleys.
It was a
You
good.
knew you had to beat
It was a
this
good.
team.
It was a good like
Yeah.
battle. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you knew that these are the teams, and you become familiar with these teams, and you're like, these guys are competitive, and like we should be good. And like mental, like this is all mental. Like this is you and yourself sort of chat.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you go play for someone else, you sort of lose that a little bit.
But there's nothing better than going into, and so obviously footy isn't the same as going to war, but you're putting your body on the line for some blokes you're playing with. And
Yeah.
When,
Yeah,
when
mate.
you
Especially
go
when the older fellas like are backing you up, and then
Yeah.
you're like, no,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna let you die. mate."
and when you're going
Young
when you're
bucks.
going into a game of footy with blokes you've
Young
gone
bucks.
to like school with or you've grown up with, so you're going to parties with them, going
Yeah.
to piss with them, and no matter what happens, you sort of it's just a special bond you get with them,
Yeah.
and there's no greater bond I've found in life with someone that you've put your body on the line for and you've played a game of footy with.
Yeah. Shit,
matter-
chat.
No matter what
School footy,
differences you
club
have,
footy.
Yeah.
it's
Anything.
just
Yeah.
it's just playing a game of
That
footy
one
is,
kid at school you don't like, but you're just playing footy with you.
yeah,
so
and
it's
it's, obviously it's not the same as like
the turn
going to
tables.
war and fighting for your country, but it's
Same
it's,
principles.
it's a similar thing as in like
It is literally
Yeah.
the same thing. All right. I snapped my ankle in horrific places.
in a game you shouldn't have been playing.
I've come out worse than a lot of our soldiers come back from Afghanistan right now. Tib, fib, snap, multiple surgeries, put back together, repeat grade 12. You know how it is. When I'm legal. But nah, definitely. Like you grow a love for the boys you play with, and you grow a hatred for the boys you play against.
And there's no stronger bond than when you've gone out there and been belted by an opposition, or you've belted an opposition, but you've put yourself on the line and you've had the bloke stand next to you prepared to do the same. There's no better bond than that. Like, you can
Yeah.
be best mates with someone, but unless you've done that with them, you won't have the same connection.
Yeah. And like then there's the afters, like the parties, and they're getting on the piss, and like next thing you know, you're drinking with blokes you never even thought.
Yeah.
Like Clark, you for example. Like, are you the older grade or the younger grade of the 18s
Older
team?
grade.
So you're the older grade. So
But
are
it's
they?
my first year too, because last year COVID.
Because
so I
COVID
missed
fucked
out,
it, yeah.
I was gonna be playing with him.
So like you look at the younger grade and you're like, I never would have drank with this bloke.
Yeah,
ever."
exactly.
Who?
Like Matthew Leggy or someone like them. Or,
Oh, bro, like a fucking monster.
yeah.
Pest.
He's a best.
Oh, legs are menace. He's a menace.
Weapon.
But blokes like that, like that you'd
Shout out,
never
Leggy.
be mates with. You never would have even like fucking touched base with if not for rugby league and if not for you being on the same team with him. sort
Yeah,
of
that's it. Eh?
And
thing. You know, like
that kind of no, sorry to cut you off, but
we'll say like yeah, exactly.
Nah,
that's like literally relates back
That's-
to things you've previously
That's
said about
so many
like
people though. Like
how,
just
like-
one bus trip, and you never talk
Yeah.
to them, and then you just get on the bus, get on the
exactly
beers, and you're like, oh wait,
like
you're right, you exist.
you can never you've never had any interactions with
Exactly.
someone before.
Except
You
for
have
just
like
play
one
footy.
you have like one day or one game with someone, one night
Yeah.
after a game, and you just connect with them instantly. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
oh, what the hell?
And that's the best thing about rugby league. Like, you don't need to be the best footy player. Like, who gives a shit who the best footy player is?
Yeah.
It's more about, like...
That's probably how
Yeah.
I got in touch with Connor. He was just a tool. He hops on the under 18 bus.
Banned from the
Yeah.
under 18s.
I got a
bus,
friend
yeah.
hubcap shirt because he swapped shirts with me.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
literally he's
sweet.
been
Oh.
fishing for someone for about 4 years.
Nah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you want to swap shirts? And I was like, yeah, righto. And then as we hopped off the bus, I ripped my shirt off as well, put it on top, had 2 shirts.
Nah, fucking. So like, I'll tell this fucking story. So like, we were like at Gundawindi, and Gundawindi from Dolby is 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
One of the
Oh,
best...
no. Is this the same night we're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
one
like,
of the best footy bus trips you'll have as an under 18s
2.5
player.
hours turns into 4.5.
it was like 5. Yeah, it was dead.
Four
So
and
like,
a half, you're not having a go.
So
It's
prior to this-
seriously.
prior to this
Grandpa's on the
moment,
roll.
prior to this moment, through my younger brother Will, I knew Clarkey for the fact. I knew I knew what your name was, and I knew who you were. And so whenever I was at footy, I don't know if you ever saw me, but I was always trying to chat at you from the sideline, like, give it to Clarkey, like
I
fucking
cop
give
it
it.
all the
Or
time.
I called you the milkman's son. That's what you were like. I'd always refer to you as.
Nah, I
And
cop
so
it
that
from
bus
the old
trip-
boys, just young pup, that's it.
Well, oh yeah. 'Cause the other guys. But see, like
Wind up, young
that
pup.
bus trip was like
Lady.
got on, no idea what it was gonna be, and next thing you know, I'm
Clayton
fucking
spewing all over Noah, just
I'm
all over his head.
sitting in my underwear on
Speaking-
Clarkey's lap. I had no idea who this bloke was personally, and I'm like sitting there
Skin
in
on
my
skin.
undies. Oh, I might have been
No,
naked.
leg you had your other leg, like where you had to
Yeah,
have a thigh
you
each.
both had like your knees in the aisle, and I was sitting there, and like it was
You were gone before you
fucking
even hopped on the bus.
Yeah, it was. I was in the camp by myself drinking, and then like, they're like, oh, he wants to go on the bus, and I was like, I'll go on a bus. I don't care.
No, because I played 18s then reserve grade, and then freaking hopped on the bus with you.
Yeah.
And then,
Not
Nah.
good.
Up the
It
balls.
was like 4.5, 5 hours later, end up back in Dolby at Tyson's house. And then like I'm like trying to pull Clarkey like out of his fucking mum's car.
oh yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
dude, my
God, you've
mum-
coming out with
Oh,
us.
was that the night that
Mum's like, who's this
fucking-
big gorilla?
Yeah.
This big Z looking bloke.
Big Z. Great movie.
Big Z of Surf's Up.
Surf's Up.
Fuck
Surf's Up is a
you.
great...
Oh,
it's an all-time movie.
I'm
Anyways,
all washed
I'm
up.
sitting in the
Big
car,
Z.
and then Connor's like, Buffalo, just have this beer. I grab it. It's warm as. It's like lukewarm. And I'm just getting abused. He's grabbing me by the collar. I'm like sitting in the car. Mum's like, what's going on? I was like, I got to get rid of him.
She's
So
like, why is this fat
I was
Big
like,
Z
this
living,
Big
like,
Z was
shaking
like-
living in a tree made out of leafs?
Was that?
And I was like, do you want your shirt back? And he's like, nah, you keep it,
I was
bro.
like, nah, brother, you got it. We'll re-meet back up
why
in
you
the
got that-
future.
You know why you got that shirt though? Because Connor was waiting for an 18s bus trip where someone would fit into one of his shirts.
That's very fair. There was a couple
Nah,
of boys
it's,
in that bus
it's
that would
still
fit my
too
shirts
baggy for
too.
me. That's why I don't wear it.
Oh,
You can have it back if
that's
you want.
the
yeah, I would very much like it
Was,
back.
was that the night where
Me and you fell asleep in Jovin's driveway? Yeah, that was it. mate.
But
that night
there's-
I rocked up to Tyson's and you
Oh,
and
tell me what
Noah are
happened
just
that night.
fully dressed in like Tyson's
Yeah.
work gear. it is his origin work gear, like
Yeah.
head to toe. Just like I walk in, it was
It
like
was
the
me.
randomest group of people,
Oh.
and you were just like fully head to toe.
So what happened
origin
was-
work gear, and I walk in, I'm like, what? It's like
After-
2 o'clock in the morning.
After I hassled Clarkey out of his fucking car, me, Noah, and Max got a lift back to this house, and then me, Matt, Wolf, and Noah were like, "Yo, where the fuck's the party at?" And then Tyson's like, "Mine," and he wasn't even there. He's like, "Party's at mine. I'll be there in 20." And we're like, "Oh, we don't live that far. We'll just walk." So we started walking. We get to the end of the street here, and the fucking courtesy bus flies past.
Easy.
Door opens. It's like Dylan Taylor, Blake Hunter, and their boys are just like, what are you doing? Where you going? We're like, we're going to Tyson's. And they're like,
it was the last
"Get
game of the
in."
season. They're like,
Yeah.
let's just send it.
and so like we all ended up at Tyson's and
Was that
then
the handicap?
went through
Yeah.
the clothesline and like pulled all the Tyson's work gear off, cruising around in it, and then like my cock was out all over everyone's.
The maddest part about that was, I was out with Tyson that night when he was fucking inviting everyone over, right? We were at the Russell, I think.
Yeah.
We're at the Russell. And he's like, oh, all the footy boys just got back into town or fucking come back to mine. I was like, oh, sweet. I think I was with, was it Drew or...
Nah, Drew wasn't there.
I was with someone and we walked back to yours. Might have been a couple of us. Walked back to yours because we're at the Russell with Tyson. Tyson's like, oh, all the boys just came back to mine. Let's go back there now. You're like, yeah, well, sweet. Walked back there. Me and a few of the boys got on it. Just fucking straight down to Tyso's. Get to fucking Tyso's, right? He's fucking already there. And I was like,
He sprinted from the.
Tyson, how
He
the
probably
fuck did you get here? He's like, oh, I got a taxi. How'd you just get here? I was like, you just told us to fucking walk here
Tyson
from the
on the piss.
Russell.
Tyson is the fucking travelling soldier on the piss. He teleports places.
He told us.
You
Just
never know
spawns
where.
in.
He just fucking respawns
He
everywhere.
told us that. He was like,
Drew is
the
the
boys
same,
are the boys are at ours. We'll head back there now. We'll get there and we'll go see him. So we're like, oh yeah, right, fucking start walking. Get there. He's already been there. He's like, what the fuck did you just go? I was like, you said to start walking to yours. He's like, I got a taxi.
Why did you
Fuck
take
you.
so long? Come
Yeah,
on.
he'd already
get
been
here.
there for like 20 minutes. I
Nah,
was like,
fucking.
what the fuck?
Me and Josh we're like, yo, it's like 3:30 in the morning. We need to go. So like we like started walking, and then we started walking. We got to the end of Tyson Street. It's like 50 meters down the road, and I'm like, God, it's fucking cold. And I'm like, wait, Jovan doesn't live far from here. Let's go to
We'll
his
go
house.
there.
I was like to Josh, I fully convinced Josh. I was like, bruh, he'd have hoodies that'd fit me. Like, let's just go there and wake him up. And he'll give me a hoodie. 3:30 fucking morning. We're like at the front. I'm like, Jovan, like screaming at the
This
front of
guy's
his
out the
house.
front, like screaming out to him. I think your phone was flat because you were like, oh
I was like, you call the cab.
yeah, you're like, he told me to call the cab, but before that he was like, oh, he called Jovan. See if he's got a jumper. And I called Jovan. I called Jovan. He didn't answer. He's like, oh, well, surely Ray J's awake. Called Ray J.
Ray J was drinking someone else. wasn't
Ray
he?
J's a
He didn't
menace.
answer.
Ray J's
I think I even
menace.
called Kyla at that point. I called everyone. He was like, he was just like, no, someone will answer. And I was like, I'm not calling Train.
Nah. So like we got in this cab, and then like this cabbie had 2 cans of Pepsi, like full cans of Pepsi. Like, you know, you're starting your fucking 3 o'clock in the morning cab shift. You want 2 cans of Pepsi to keep you going. And I'm fucking like just to the front seat street. I just like passed out in the back completely.
As you're
We
doing a cab
Pretty much
at
had to
3
scrape him
a.m.
up off the
A
road.
cab at 3
I was
a.m. You're
asleep on
basically
the
passed
road.
out
Josh
the
is
whole
like,
time.
cab's here, so I was fucking jumping, full asleep in the back, and they were like fully convinced this bitch I was gonna give her $50 for a can of Pepsi on roll.
It was the funniest thing. Eh? We got out here, and I was like, "So you gonna be having them Pepsi soon, or can we take them?"
No, you didn't get that.
And then Connor, who had been like asleep the whole cab drive, I started negotiating for this Pepsi. He jumps in. He's like, "I'll give you $50 for the can." She's like, looks at me. She's like,
Okay.
She's like, no. Like, that
he's
was
just
it.
like, "Okay, bitch."
Okay.
It's ours, like, oh.
Adios, amigo.
But like, there's nothing better than the Gundy footage. Like, this was the Gundy night.
2.5 hours turns into easily
2.5 hours, mate. My first under 18s
You're that blind, you
year.
can't stop.
You're going to
breathing.
Airlie Beach, like, pretty well. Like, you
Yeah,
you could do the
basically,
Airlie
like,
Beach trip in the
So
Gundy
we
bus
went to
trip home.
Gundy and we played footy and we beat Gundy just actually because we played like shit against useless teams all year.
Yeah.
Anyway, we beat Gundy just.
That's how it is, though. You
And
can't
we're-
play good against a shit team. You only play
Yeah.
good against
You
good
play
teams.
down. You play
Yeah,
down.
Yeah,
Right,
we played down at the level. We just beat them.
Because
Anyway.
the way they play footy is just so dumb, you can't compete.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm actually Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we had our bus trip home, and a heap of the A grade boys jumped on the bus because we had like 14 blokes rock up to play against Gundy, and
Nice.
so we stopped at the Mooney pub, obviously, and
Yeah.
we'd already had a couple of stops on the way, as you do from Gundy.
Standard.
So we stopped at Mooney, and we're all walked in there. All the boys are buying a feed and having a few beers, sitting at Mooney. And by the time we get out of Mooney, and Grandad, obviously the great Grandad, drives us home.
Great.
So how long would you suggest that it would be from Gundy to Dolby if you were to drive straight through?
I have no idea. Is it
Probably
like
about
3
two-
hours, 2.5
3 hours?
It's the 3
It took us 6.5 hours to get from Gundy to Dolby.
Right, you want to
No,
cut that
but-
time? You want to cut that time down?
No.
You do that. If you get off, you just go.
Granddad must
No,
have
no,
had
no.
a bad experience because he skipped Mooney and he just kept going.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah, he
stop.
would
at
have
Mooney.
had a
That was
bit
weird.
of- yeah, we didn't
With
stop.
us, he stopped straight at Mooney, and
Yeah.
we
Oh,
sat
he would have had
there.
a bad
And,
experience for
nah,
sure.
it took us 6.5
he's
hours to get from
Granddad
Gundy to
just
Dolby.
developed. Granddad just knew what he was
How long are
doing.
you at Mooney for?
Oh, we were there for a good, solid, at least half an hour. At least half
Solid
an hour.
30.
No,
Yeah,
we
solid
we
30
pulled
mid.
up at the jump up just to air Clayton out and then jump back on the bus.
Well, see, like Clayton spewed all over Noah, and then I spewed all over Clayton. so like we were off the bus, and I was like, in my head, I was always like, you know, you want to cut bus trips down? You do. If you get off the bus, you skull to get back on that motherfucker. You know how many people are like, I'll just spew out the fucking window. Or they're like, I'll just piss out the window. Or they're like, I'll just shit out the window. It's like, they'll figure it out.
Too many.
They're not pulling over to scull some shit. And so, like, me and Clayton get off. And this is where, like, my praise for Clayton went right up. Was me and Clayton get off. We're fucking sword fighting, taking a piss off the bus. And I go to get back on. And he's like, put his hand on my chest. Like, you know, when someone's got a hand on your fucking chest, you're just like, whoa. And he's like, what do you think you're doing? You haven't scaled to get back on. And I was like, oh, I'm actually getting alphaed here by an 18-year-old. And I was like, fuck it, give me a can of warm. And then, like, he gave me a can of warm Great Northern.
Oh, super crisp.
And I was like, oh, good, bang. And he's just like, you ready to scull? And I was like, fuck yeah, crack it. Got halfway through it and then just fully power spewed all over his face and chest. And he's just like, finished sculling his beer. And then, like, fully, like, dripping, just looks at me and he goes,
You right there, big dog?
he just, like, fully dripping, looks at me and goes, thank you very much, Connor. And, like, I get back on and sit back on.
Thank you, sir.
I sat back on Clarky's lap the rest of the bus trip home.
Oh.
Like,
But honestly,
Not
that's
good.
what Clayton McGee gets. Like,
I was
I
lucky.
was at a party with him one night, and we were sitting there, and someone made him scull a beer.
What is this, the next segment? Just talk shit about Clayton McGee.
fuck, like,
And yeah,
Oh,
we're
that's
sitting
our
there.
topic.
my rhubarb.
Fuck.
Someone made him scull a beer, and we're sitting there and we're sculling anyway. And so then someone made him scull one more after sculling this beer, and I'm like sitting across the table from him, and he's sculled this beer anyway. He's sitting there fine, and someone's made him scull another one, and so he's got halfway through this beer, and power spewed all over my leg. Like, all down my leg, all down
Hold
the side
up.
of my shirt.
Sounds like
Was
something
it chunky
he's done.
butt or was it just piss?
That sounds like something he's done.
I feel like it was
Chunky,
chunky
yes.
because
He had a Subway before that.
I was not
Lettuce
impressed.
and carrot everywhere.
Right, he was eating like teriyaki chicken.
I was not impressed, to say the least.
Bro, but like, how good? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, getting spewed on, that's fucked up. Spewing on someone myself, guilty.
Nah, I hear
Fucked
stories
up.
about Pittsworth.
Oh,
Bus
mate,
trip.
the Pittsworth bus trip. So the very first bus trip of my under 18s year.
When you were
Sounds
the
like-
bitch.
I was the
bitch.
under 18s bitch, so which is a prestigious.
For those who
title.
don't listening, the prestigious award of being labelled the bitch was started in 2018 in the under 18s bus trip. We should have renamed it as the hardest cunt on the
King.
bus.
Yeah,
It's
like
not-
the
it's
king
not
of the
under
bus.
18s
Dylan
bitch. It's
Knobs
the
here just took it like a king.
it's
Yeah.
the bloke that just is gonna
It's the
have a
king.
crack every bus trip.
And so, like, that's the one dude who, you know what? I got to start work at 3 o'clock on fucking Monday morning. I'm a baker. I don't give a fuck.
cares?
Cunt. I'll fucking get more
Yeah.
lifted than any motherfucker
Oh,
on this
good.
bus.
So
Like, that's
my
the fucking
attendant
key.
wants me to
Building
start
your
8
building.
a.m. tomorrow morning. Oh yeah,
And we go down the line.
I'll scull all the beers you tell me to.
We'll go down the line. It's like, it's been Jack Clegg, it's been Sam Gillespie, and it's been Dylan Knobs.
No, Smithers was supposed to be, and then Smithers just was like, "Oh, I was a team bitch," and handed it to Dylan Nobbs.
Nah, that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
but see, that's the one thing. That's the one
you
thing
have-
I
the team
carry
bitch gets
with
to
me.
hand it down. That's
So
the
the
rule.
very first 18s bus trip, I got way too shit-faced before I even left the field. So we started drinking before the A grade had even played. And our coach, Scotty Hall, actually told me not to scull this last drink that I sculled. Anyway, I did. And ended up a bit fucking unwell on the bus. But for the rest of the year, you know, I handled myself alright. And you just cop it. Like, anytime anyone tells you to do anything, you just cop it as the under 18s bitch. But if you're the 18s bitch and you tap out halfway through the year, that's when you just like,
we stuffed.
no. You
Yeah,
need
we
to...
fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
bad.
chose the wrong
That's
person.
bad. You need to have... The 18s bitch isn't... It's not like a bitch person on the field. It's just someone that you know is going to get on the piss and
Exactly.
just
It
have
could-
a good time
It
with
could
the
be the
boys.
best player in the team.
It does,
but
yeah, it has nothing to do with
generally
footballing
not.
ability. It's just...
Generally not the best
Yeah,
player.
Just,
it's not-
if
you
you're
don't
gonna have
have
a
to be a
go,
bitch.
if you're gonna have a go, you can be the 18s bitch. Yeah, Josh Ashford would have been a good bitch in his time, but the bitch wasn't around.
No, we had Jack Clegg, and Jack Clegg was the fucking king of the bitches.
Oh,
Alright, he was the
he's
king of kings,
set the
but now
standard,
he
and
is-
no one has met his standard.
Now
since.
he's been buried.
He
6 feet
kicked it
under.
off.
No one has met his standard since though for the
That's
bitch.
enough.
But
Before I start tearing up.
yeah, don't even bother.
Oh, yeah. Is what it is.
It is what it is.
Next segment.
See, fucking, but like, how good is like not only like playing footy with blokes, but like the fucking avenue of like playing footy with blokes and then like the mateship that comes from that. Like, I feel like we've replicated that a little bit through podcasts. Like,
Yeah.
like obviously we've talked about it multiple times through you and Drew and Trent and Tyson, and like the rest of us have sort of always been mates. But like now, Hugh Clark, for example, like let's go down the path of the fact that Hugh Clark, if not for Pubcats, and if not for the fact that, you know, like we all played footy, Hugh Clark would not be here right now. Like, let's face it, if we were a bunch of nobodies,
I think it was more because your dad's the coach of my team, and I was just sitting next to him. on
Yeah,
the
your
bus.
dad literally pays us to be your friends.
oh, cool. How much?
I would have meant to say that.
I'm just
How much?
waiting for
I'll
my
pick- I'll
transfer.
pick
It's
some
yeah,
transfers.
yeah, like way too
Derek's
much.
like, yeah,
a lot.
Connor really sucks at podcasts. You should probably help. Nah, jokes.
Derek's just like, oh man, I'll give you $50 a week if you talk.
Dad,
to
they're
Connor
joking.
every now and then.
Dad, they're
Every now
joking,
and
aren't
then
they?
You just
You'd
talk
be
to Connor, I'll give you the
surprised
money.
how many
Dad, if you're listening to
pineapples-
this, they're joking, aren't they?
You'd be surprised how many pineapples your dad had rolled up
Fuck it.
in the good shoes, in the going out shoes. He's got it rolled up in the
the big
cupboard,
zebra.
just sitting there.
Nah, but for reals, like, Clarky, you would not be here if you did
Nah.
not think we were worth it, sort of thing.
Nah.
And so, like, you're here, right? Like, you're being here right now, and you're meeting us. Like, we're only like literally a quarter of the Pubcats and what's to come. And you know, like, you'll meet the other boys, and you'll fucking
Just wait till next weekend.
wait till next weekend. You'll meet everyone in full fucking flight. But
I'll just be behind the camera, but yeah.
nah, man. But like, I'll tell the boys. I'll tell them exactly what you're here for.
Quinton will
exactly
get
what we're
amongst it
doing.
though.
Quinton
Quinton will
will
get
get
amongst
Everyone's
it.
gonna love you, Quinton.
Yeah.
Alright. You got no fucking friends, but we'll fucking
Rip.
We'll fucking get into you,
No
Quinton.
good, eh?
Take no prisoners, Quinton.
yeah, so
Thanks, boys.
Every time I hear Quinton, I just think of fucking the Big League
Big
show.
League Show?
Yeah.
that's the joke.
Fuck you,
But it's
Quinton.
Quentin Tarantino.
Fuck
but
you,
it's like,
Quinton.
Nah, but
You little bitch.
Oh,
oh
Get
yes.
out of my building.
So coming up,
or you
Pubcats.
can come behind.
We've got the Sports
fuck that,
Carnival.
you.
Nah.
The Sports Carnival next week. We got some crazy shit going on there. Plus, probably our first proper YouTube video by Quentin standards. So we got Clarky's going to come in and help us out, record wise and content wise, and talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Plus filming and audio and stuff like that. So
Bring us 360 stuff.
we're going to be doing a lot more
GoPros
360
and
stuff. If you don't know what it is, and you don't get the gist of it from this video or audio, look up the bonkers. Look up Dizzy Rascal bonkers. All right, and you'll get the whole fucking idea of what a 360 camera will do. Coming up, we've also got Jovan's 18th. So Jovan Johnson, probably to be named the next Pubcat number 11.
That'll be a messy weekend.
That'll be an absolute crasher of a weekend.
At the uni.
Then after that, we've got skydiving on the Sunshine Coast.
Pending.
Josh.
Not pending.
Suck my...
You know, most of the boys have said yes, like without even question.
A lot of the boys will be keen for the skydiving.
Say fucking no.
Why?
Fuck that.
What do you
Why?
mean,
I
man?
don't.
You're going to be strapped to a professional.
Yeah, you'll be
Professional
fine.
can suck my nuts for all I care.
Oh, good. Righto. We're all getting sucked off by skydiving professionals.
Maybe I'll say yes.
What? Why don't you want to go skydiving first?
You need to skydive. You need to skydive once in your life.
Would you go?
What are you going to do other than that?
Would you rather go skydiving or swimming with sharks?
I'd be swimming with sharks.
Bullshit! You're full of shit, Josh. You're full of shit.
I probably would.
Righto, so we got skydiving on
Like
Sunny Coast. We got
no cage. You're just
good numbers for that.
in the water with
we
some
got
great
Still
whites.
sport.
Yeah, if I want to go.
Oh, yeah, we got the sports carnival weeks before that. Plus, we got end of year triple way, so we got to decide where we're going to go for that.
Oh,
And
And that's
That's
not
gonna
going to be.
happen.
in
Oh, could it be
November, is
Toowoomba?
It's going to be in December.
that's going to be December sometime. We'll have a video posted up of that.
I thought you got the
Surely,
Shamrock.
surely
Penthouse
any time
booked out
after
for
the
us.
surely
good.
any time after the 17th of December.
We'll be Christmas Eve. We'll be at the fucking Gilligan's at Cairns.
Christmas Eve we'll be at the fucking Cube. The only ones there. Only ones.
So just want to finish off by saying a
shit.
massive thank you to Hugh Clark for coming on to help the
Cambridge
podcast.
died.
Ah, fuck!
No. We're at the end. Oh well, that's the end.
Or we could play like a finishing video.
Yeah, we just
I want to
put-
say thank you to Josh and Sam for coming on to the podcast talking
Ooh,
shit.
oh,
It is a Thursday night. We all have work tomorrow. We're still here kicking it. If you're not a fucking pussy, then you'll have a beer on a Thursday night like we would. It's steak night at the Criterion. Thank you to our major sponsor, HG Customs. I think that's what it's called.
Maybe. We don't know. It could be. It could
We
be.
don't even
We don't
care.
know. Doesn't
Who
matter.
cares?
Someone makes some stuff.
Buy the
But
podcast
HD
merch.
Customs, HD Customs, best concrete tables
Best
on the
concrete
market.
tables, best renovations. Don't even
Buy-
fucking at me.
Buy the Pubcats merch.
Buy the Pubcats merch. Look us up,
New caps,
pubcats.org. We got new hats. We got beanies on sale. We got shirts, hoodies, a couple of hoodies available. It's coming
Like,
into summer.
subscribe, you know where it's at.
If you're wearing a hoodie, you probably fat can't go into the gym because it's summer and you want to lose some weight.
But
We
I
got
mean-
shirts available, plus hoodies and hats.
That's why he's not
Keep an
wearing the
eye
shirt.
open. Thank you so much, everyone.
Peace.
We love you,
That's
Mum.
it, peace. We love you all, mate.